I will not cry, Torek told himself, as he rolled up his father's sleeping sack and tied it across his back, jammed his axe into his belt, stuffed his medicine pouch into his jerkin. He got to his feet and cast about for the water skin. It was ripped to shreds. He'd have to bring water in a dock leaf. He was about to go when his father murmured his name. Torek turned. Yes, Fa? Remember, when you're hunting, look behind you. I always tell you. He forced a smile. You always forget. Look behind you. Yes? Torek nodded. He tried to smile back. Then he blundered through the wet bracken towards the stream. The light was growing and the air smelt fresh and sweet. Around him the trees were bleeding, oozing golden pine blood from the slashes the bear had inflicted. Some of the tree spirits were moaning quietly in the dawn breeze. Torek reached the stream, where mist floated above the bracken and willows trailed their fingers in the cold water. Glancing quickly around, he snatched a dock leaf and moved forwards, his boots sinking into the soft red mud. He froze. Beside his right boot was the track of a bear. A front paw, twice the size of his own head, and so fresh that he could see the points where the long, vicious claws had bitten deep into the mud. Look behind you, Torek. He spun round. Willows, alder, fir. No bear. A raven flew down onto a nearby bough, making him jump. The bird folded its stiff black wings and fixed him with a beady eye. Then it jerked its head, croaked once, and flew away. Torek stared in the direction it had seemed to indicate. Dark hue, dripping spruce, dense, impenetrable. But deep within, no more than 10 paces away, a stir of branches. Something was in there, something huge. He tried to keep his panicky thoughts from skittering away, but his mind had gone white. The thing about a bear, his father always said, is that it can move as silently as breath. It could be watching you from 10 paces away and you'd never know. Against a bear, you have no defenses. You can't run faster. You can't climb higher. You can't fight it on your own. All you can do is learn its ways and try to persuade it that you're neither threat nor prey. Torek forced himself to stay still. Don't run, don't run. Maybe it doesn't know you're here. A low hiss. Again, the branches stirred. He heard the stealthy rustle as the creature moved towards the shelter, towards his father. He waited in rigid silence as it passed. Coward, he shouted inside his head. You let it go without even trying to save Fa. But what could you do, said the small part of his mind that could still think straight. Fa knew this would happen. That's why he sent you for water. He knew it was coming for him. Torek, came his father's wild cry. Run! Crows burst from the trees. A roar shook the forest, on and on, till Torek's head was splitting. Fa! He screamed. Run! Again the forest shook. Again came his father's cry. Then suddenly it broke off. Torek jammed his fist in his mouth. Through the trees, he glimpsed a great dark shadow in the wreck of the shelter. He turned and ran.